This is the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
Hey, we do have the big man Shaun Darcy in the house. Shaun, you've been on the news services all week. Everybody's wondering if you're going to play. We had you in here last week. And
You looked
did he
us
lie
in
to
the
us?
eye.
Did he lie to us now?
No,
I did
I had
lie
a
to
feeling
you.
it was
I said
lying.
I had a test that night. I did have a test and didn't go as well as we wanted. So,
Yeah.
Well,
You look like you're having a lot of fun at training. Is it a lot of fun?
Oh, it's so much fun running
running
on
laps.
those sidelines and
Yeah.
watching all the boys train. So
What distance did we run?
6 and a bit, almost 7. So it's great.
Is that what you normally run in a match?
Not in a match, so training's a bit different. The boys
Yeah.
did about 5, I think,
Yeah.
yesterday, and then when you're in rehab, you do a little bit more.
but it's not broken up in because you can go for a 45-minute run and run 6Ks, right? So
no,
it's not
it's sprints. It's high speed and all this fun stuff that the GPS data loves, and
Yeah.
they measure everything down to a millimetre, and if you run too far, they get angry at you. And
Really?
Yeah,
It's
so
Yeah.
I was
that
only,
involved.
I was only allowed to get up to 70%
Yeah.
speed because of my calf, and
because you're too far. They can't see you because you're too quick.
Do
Yes.
you know when your body's doing 70%?
Oh, you have a rough idea, and then they get the data, and then they say he was at 73%, so they like slow down and things like that.
Because I'm nothing or 100%.
There's no in between.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
You can't tell a cheater to run 70%.
You can't, Sean. You can't.
It's like-
You can't. Don't pull the reins back on this.
Hey, Daz, I did see you giving your calf an absolute hammering, and I said to Nat, I think it was at the start of the week, oh, no, he'll be definitely playing this week because I saw a massive workload, and I thought, you'd be bomb-proof, right? Justin's press conference yesterday, the coach, he wasn't so convincing to me, which leaves me to believe that you might be playing at Marvel Stadium, a bit harder underfoot.
yeah, had a little nick in the calf. We thought it was a bit of tightness, and then had a little nick. So we're seeing what I can tolerate and what I can't tolerate, and how it pulls up and things like that from training and things like that. So yeah, it's a bit frustrating at the moment.
Do you have to report anything that goes on in your body?
Yeah.
So, anything. So that's
Legit,
like
yeah.
anything at all. Yeah.
Yep. So any
So that's
soreness.
even like, just
that
where
crazy?
you like, I'm aware of a bit of tightness in my calf.
Yeah.
You would have to, yeah.
What
So-
about I've got a tingling and I think I'm getting a cold sore?
Yeah, you tell the doctors
Really?
that. Yeah, they literally know everything.
They're not allowed to patch one another for a while.
Sleep routine, I didn't
So
sleep
we
well.
have our Whoop, which tracks
your
our sleep.
Whoop?
It's a
Yeah, it's like a
thing
Fitbit,
that tracks your sleep. So
Yep.
they
Is that
You
your
are-
whoop?
Get that
Is that
data.
your whoop there?
yeah. So you keep it on at all times, and you sleep with it, and it tracks your data and how much sleep you got. So yeah,
Oh,
you
does
can't.
it track if you're on the job?
Yeah, it tracks everything.
Okay, so I mean, choice of words here, but it would register your load, and that would be the problem
Yeah,
because
so,
you might go over.
Is that what that cup's for?
Sure.
That's the right way. That's exactly what
It is
happens.
the right terminology, Sean,
Thank
but
you.
it was just, it was peppered in other meanings. Sean?
I didn't pick up what you were
Several
putting down.
entendres there, I think.
Yeah.
Hey, this morning, and people can hear it on our podcast if you want to download it. We were trying to solve parenting, Sean, and that is we're trying to control Sean's children.
Because you're not allowed to hit them
A little bit
anymore.
out of control at the moment, but without hitting them because
It's frowned upon.
But back in the day, we all got hit.
Yeah.
Did you get hit when you were a kid?
yeah, I did. My first actual memory, I reckon, is my mother hitting me for drawing on the walls. I reckon they had the walls painted, and I was about 3, and I was the youngest, so my brother and sister were like, "Yeah, keep going, that's sick."
So you were double fisting
Yeah,
when you
I was
crayons.
going crayons, and then Mum come home and she hit me so hard. I remember it.
So you only did it once, right?
Yeah, I
Oh,
never
you
did it
drew-
again.
Yes.
Never
To
did
be
it
honest,
again.
look about it though. That's your first memory. Your memories hadn't started until she hit. And you know what I mean? Your memory wasn't working until she hit you, and like when you bang something.
Old school values, mate. And look at you now.
Yeah, I think I'm alright.
Very successful man.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
You know us, we're just hanging around with the Prime Minister, as we do. Here's more of our chat.
Hey, Albo. So there are great things like the energy rebate and all that sort of
Yes.
stuff. And they're small little things
Medication
that help.
stuff too, yeah.
Medication stuff as well, and. I explained the cost of living at the moment like the head of Hydra. You cut off one head and then 7 more appear. And that's with cost because everything seems to be going up. Can you be really honest with me right now and honest with people in Australia? Is this just life now? Is this the price we're going to be paying now? And is this the reality of the housing situation now? Because we're complaining about it. We hear politicians saying they're going to do something about it. It doesn't seem to be working across the board because, as I said, when something's reduced in price or you get a rebate from something, 7 other things go up. So is this just, are we just living in a more expensive world post-COVID now and we just have to deal with it in our own lives and make it work? Because it seems like that's what the reality is.
Well, there has been a long tail from COVID because it exposed some of supply chain issues that are still there. And there's also, you had on energy, you had the biggest international energy crisis since the 1970s with the Russian invasion of Ukraine. It just flowed through right around the world. So you've got to be straight about that, and you've got to be straight as well about housing is a supply issue that you can't fix overnight. But what you can do is put your shoulder to the wheel to make a difference. And on inflation, it is now half what we inherited. So the annual inflation rate at the moment is down to 3.6%. Now, we want to get it to between 2 and 3%. The measures that we've put in place are aimed at further moderating inflation. And it's not a simple issue. So when we sat down and did the budget, we had to look at measures that would put that downward pressure on inflation while giving support to people. That's why we made the decision earlier this year too. We know people were doing it tough, so we changed the tax cuts. That was a big call, and it was the right thing to do, done for the right reason. I was criticised at the time. No one now, not even the opposition who oppose everything, they ended up voting for it. Because it was the right thing to do, so that your listeners who are earning $45,000 or less would have got not a single cent. They'll get a tax cut now on July 1. The measures that we put in place as well for students, so that we've wiped $3 billion off people's HECS debt, will make a difference as well, making sure that for people undertaking prac training as part of their course in teaching and nursing, they'll get paid for that. So we've tried to address support where it's needed. 10% increase in rent assistance on top of the 15% increase that we had last year. Again, making a difference in a targeted way, as well as those measures that go right across the economy to everybody, which includes the energy bill relief and the tax cuts for every taxpayer.
You must be rapt about talking about this all day long.
Oh my God! You must you're going to say this same stuff how many times today? I would drive into a tree.
But this will be the highlight of my day. There's no one else I'm speaking to who has their photo on the lodge
That's a great
Thank
point.
you so much.
It's a great point.
And believe me, we've already started discussing your wedding gift. Got a few ideas. Maybe you're going to have to move that. You're going to have to move that picture just over slightly.
Ever so
Something
slightly.
else going on the mantle.
Oh, very good.
Have a great day. And
Happy budget day.
Thanks for your time.
And you guys, thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Very pleased about your mum.
Oh, thanks, Elbow. Thanks,
Are you going to do a rove and say hi to your mum for me?
Of course I am.
Yeah.
Of course I am. We love our mums, and
She likes it when you use her name. It's Marlene. Say it to her.
Marlene.
She's in bed right now.
Marlene.
Speak to her. Say it to her.
G'day, Marlene. I'm glad you're feeling better.
She sleeps with nothing on.
And I hope Nathan gave you a fantastic Mother's Day present.
I
He
did.
would've, yeah.
I did. It's just a picture of you that she's holding right now, naked in bed. Bye, Elbow.
Image for you.
Eating a rack of lamb.
Should see where the mint sauce
If
is.
that's what you call it. The Prime Minister, everybody. Thanks, Albo.
We're getting loose now.
I know.
Quick.
Bye, buddy.
Nathan, Nat, and Shaun podcast.
The Perth Super Sprint is on this weekend, means the V8s are in town, and their drivers as well. Will Davidson joins us. G'day, Will.
G'day.
Hey,
Welcome
Will,
back.
I've
Thank
got a
you.
question for you. Did you get your licence first go when you went for your licence way back in the day?
Yes.
Did you?
Can you believe it?
Did you get a manual licence or an automatic licence?
come
'Cause
on,
so
come
many.
on.
I don't know. ask you, Roy.
People
The
changed.
Ask everyone that you know that question today, and
Yes.
you'll be surprised about the amount of people
I
that
know.
only have an automatic
I'm
license.
You're
right.
Are you joking?
Oh.
The person that you're in here with
don't
that is
start me.
completely covered in Shell promo stuff.
Yeah, Shell V-Power Racing
And,
team.
and Ford.
What's your name again? Sorry.
Yeah, Sam.
Emily, come over
defend
here.
yourself.
Emily, come over here, dripping in Ford branded
You've
stuff.
only got an automatic license.
I do only have an automatic
So
license.
why?
Easier? I reckon if I had to drive a manual, I could.
No, you couldn't.
Okay.
There's an extra pedal and
It's
everything.
scary
right?
these days when you get
crazy.
asked by the new
Yes.
generation, like, what is that stick in the middle
Isn't
of the
that
car?
amazing?
It's like,
But yeah,
what?
Will, you would know this.
It's coming back into fashion.
I know.
It's going to go
need-
full circle.
Yeah,
like,
my niece is getting her license. She is a farm girl, though, but she's absolutely getting a manual license.
Yeah.
For
So,
me,
yeah.
it's about the
Absolutely.
apocalypse. When the apocalypse comes, all of the new cars, which are only automatic, they've all got chips in them, and it's not going to work. And you've got to go back to an old school fuel run manual car. That's how you're going to get to the safety of the new community that you're living with. After
know,
the
Will.
zombies chase you, Will.
yeah, that's
Will. That would be the reason you got it.
exactly.
And that's why you can drive so fast, right?
Of course, I was sensible. Nailed the reverse park for memory. I
Yes.
don't
Yes.
think the driving instructor loved my heel and toe on the downshift. So that's
Yeah,
what
right.
we do in a race car. When
Yeah,
you
yeah.
bomb, give it a little rev on the downshift. And that was just habit. I was 17 racing cars then.
So
and
you're
he's like, mate,
already
what was
racing."
that? Like, what was that
Yeah.
downshift? I'm like, oh, sorry.
I want to
you
keep
know.
the talk high, mate. Just in
I
case the
think he
lakes
was
are rubber.
impressed, just quietly, but you're not
don't-
meant to do that.
You don't have a normal license. Your license is gold standard, is that
What do you
right?
mean?
Well, like as in road car license?
Yeah. Sorry, but
my
you've got
racing
a
license.
your racing license is different. Okay. What? So that's
that's
the gold
just-
standard.
it's through Motorsport Australia, so there's all sorts of different licenses. But I'm international.
So it's like forklift.
A or something. Yeah, exactly, something like that. But there's road, there's rally license, so no, totally separate to your So if I lose my license, which of course I never would, I can still race my car.
So, could you? Do you have your rally license? If you wanted to cross over, would you have to go and get a rally license, or are you currently qualified to drive a rally car as
That's
well?
a great question. I don't,
You don't
actually
know?
know. Oh, surely I'd be all right. I don't know, because I'd love to do some
I
rally
never
one
knew
day.
that you guys had to have a license to do what you do.
Yeah.
We do.
I never knew that. No, I know you need to be able to drive. But then
Yeah.
again, okay, so if I was not driving, if I never drove and never got my proper license, I could get a license to race and not have a real license.
That's right.
Yeah.
There's got- you know,
Because they
Max
start so
Verstappen.
young,
Max
don't they?
Verstappen,
Yeah.
when he went into Formula One at 17,
Yeah.
I don't think he had his road car license.
But he could drive a
Max
Formula
can't
One
drive
car.
a manual. Max
see him
is
go down the
mates with my
Autobahn, though.
cousin, and he came out to Melbourne for Formula One last year, a few years ago, and he had some Aston Martin waiting for him with a manual.
And he couldn't
and
drive
he
it.
asked my cousin to. He goes, "Can you drive it? I can't drive it." I mean, I said he probably can, but I don't. Even these young generations,
Yeah.
they're so phenomenal at
I
what they
never
do, and they
knew
just
that.
flip paddles, drive simulators,
Yes.
race cars. But they're like, oh, what's these 3 pedals on the floor? I don't know.
Hey, well, driving for you though. I mean, you've done it all your life, but you've got your father and your grandfather who were top level drivers as well.
Yeah, that's right.
So, what age were you? These guys are from the country, so they
Yes.
We
learned
drove
driving early,
out of
right?
our mothers.
So when were you driving and zinging around the place?
Gosh, from the day I can remember, actually, Anton and I were talking about it the other day as like young kids. We're like, what brings it out in us as a kid? Are you just born that way, or is it the way we're encouraged as a young fella? I think. I don't know. I think you're born that way, adrenaline or whatever.
Yeah,
But naturally,
yeah.
from the day I can remember, I was sitting on my dad's knee at the family farm, and the excitement. I was probably 3. I don't know what I was.
Yeah.
Just grabbing the steering wheel
Yep.
and on the dirt road, just running
I can
amok.
remember
I don't know.
being about the same age, and my dad would be wanting to unload hay, and so he had this Austin Champ Jeep that he would then put into idle, but he idled it high, and I was left steering while they're, as a 3-year-old, just sitting in the seat steering, so not changing
None of the
gears or
pedals,
anything
yeah.
because I couldn't reach them, while they offloaded the hay off the back. So it's
you
moving
kept
through.
going.
I had to steer and avoid the bull holes
Yeah.
along the way.
I remember when I was
Amazing.
6, picking my dad up drunk from the pub.
Going through the drive-through on the way home.
My little feet trying to get the pedals. But
But
that was really...
Kalgoorlie's first Uber driver.
He
so
was,
that's
he was grateful. He was grateful.
Nathan, Nat, and Sean in podcast form.
Comedy royalty on the line. Gruen's back there.
16 seasons.
I know, it's amazing, isn't
16.
it? Plus,
Yep.
He's going to be on Taskmaster Australia.
He put out the
which-
bins last night.
Which kicks off next Thursday. He's basically got 4 billion podcasts. He's a man who does it all. Will Anderson, good morning.
Oh, good morning. I'm very tired from hearing that introduction.
know.
to be
I know.
honest.
God, Will, you're busy.
Oh, I
Got
forgot.
a lot on.
I forgot writer because you wrote a book as well.
I did write a book. Question Everything's back at the end of the year as well. We announced that the other day, so it's been very busy old year. But the good news is I'm in Perth this weekend, and we added what is turning out to be an unnecessary Friday show. So if you want good tickets, Friday, come on down.
Well,
yeah.
You
Why
never
would
come
ya?
over here early enough to come into the studio. It's been a decade since
Yes.
you've been in here, mate. Starting to get to
I
me.
know. Well, I mean, normally this is the problem with the Perth trip, right? Because I'd love to come in and, obviously come and see you in person.
Then
And normally
flying
at
on
least-
flying on Thursday.
That's
Then.
an answer, Nath.
Yeah. Well, but here's the problem. Sorry, we don't all have free Thursdays. I've got a gig on Thursday night in Sydney, don't I?
Or then cancel the gig, or put that in play next time.
Yeah.
I feel like we're an afterthought. You know, we're the person that was always waiting for the date, but we never quite get one. You always go, oh no, I will have a chance to get a coffee with you later.
Is it because that time you did come into the studio, we made you do surgery on Sean's finger? Is
Well,
it because of that?
See?
I mean, it might have been because of that. I mean, at least normally I'm talking to you on a screen through a microphone.
Yes.
Today I'm actually on a phone, so I think next time it's going to be a tin can on a bit of string. So we might be really easing back from this.
I mean, we do love the fact that Gruen's back. It's, the runs are on the board. Everybody knows what a great show it is. But when I found out that you were going to be on Taskmaster Australia, I'm like, hang on a minute. I know you are a big fan of the format.
Yeah.
So,
I thought you were too big a name to be on
yeah.
it.
Oh, well, I mean, that is a very lovely thing of you to say, I guess.
Yeah.
But, no, I just like the show. I mean, I
Yeah.
thought it would be a fun thing to do. I've never done anybody else's show either. I've never, in my TV career, I've never been, a cast member on somebody else's project. They've always been my projects. And so
Yes.
I thought, that's probably something that I would like to have
I like
tried
that.
in my career before... before it all wraps up.
And I suppose doing a TV show too, Will, would be foreign for you to rock up and all the pressure not be on you to
I mean, the
drive
most
it.
amazing thing about this show is you do 5 days in New Zealand filming all the tasks. You do about 10 tasks a day, so 5 days, 10 tasks a day that you're filming. Then they do 10 episodes of the studio episodes where you're watching it all back, for the very first time. That's all done in 5 days. So my total time working on this show has been 10 days, and they've made 10 weeks of shows.
Isn't that
right?
amazing?
And that's why I can't come to
Right.
Perth earlier.
We make 10 weeks of Gruen. It takes me 5 months.
Hey, Will, Nat was saying 16 seasons, or did you
Yeah.
know? Oh, anyway.
No, it was you.
Well, probably
no,
me.
it was
Okay.
me.
Concussion can be a big thing. But I was checking out on your Twitter, so that's 16 years of that. You were doing breakfast radio how many years ago, which blew me away?
20. So this is the 20th anniversary of Adam and I leaving. So
Yeah.
so end of this year, 20 years since we left Triple J.
God,
So we
Nat couldn't
left.
have done more.
We
had
sort of just high
started-
fived on the way
Yes,
in.
we started not long before you left. Yeah.
Why didn't you tell us what we were in for? You could have saved us 20 years, mate.
Nathan, Nat, and Sean in podcast form.
Well, we are talking the game of the round this week when the West Coast Fever take on the Adelaide Thunderbirds. Thunderbirds are not go this weekend. Kelsey Brown, the superstar centre court person, will join us now.
Centre court person.
Centre court, that's the right.
I think you could just say centre.
Well, I was on a roll, so I had to put
Yeah.
another word
Yeah.
up.
You sound like me explaining sport. Hello, centre court person, Kelsey.
Hello, guys. Nice to be here.
Kelsey had a bit of a rest last week.
Yes, I did.
You look
It's
fresh.
so. I do it. You did say that,
You do, you look
and I'll
fresh.
take it. Yeah, a bit of a rest last week. It was very hard to watch the game. I've said to our physio, I was like, I'm more exhausted after that than actually playing. I think you ride every bump, but girls got an amazing win, 36
Oh my God.
goals. Yeah,
Amazing. It's a record-breaking win. It's the highest margin in...
it was unbelievable, and
the
they
current
just
era.
kept
Yeah.
coming and coming and coming, and
even after they rested Janelle. So Janelle's on the bench. Nobody's ever seen that before. We didn't know she was able to sit down.
she did turn to me and she said, "Oh, I've waited 2 years for this."
Just to sit down.
That's amazing.
But it was just great because it was
Yeah.
sort of like, she did her job. Every single person that went on the court did
Yeah.
their job, and they could come off, have breaks. Alice Teague McNeil had even got a break. She doesn't often get one either. So it was awesome to see that any person that we put on in any combination could just do
and
their
an
role.
extra Ariang, which is always good.
I know. I mean, how
little
scary
sister.
is that?
Yeah.
They're two peas in a pod and they love each other a lot. Obviously, you would think that being sisters. But, everyone was very proud of Ruth for her debut and she killed it.
She did.
I was watching Fox Sports yesterday, so they were interviewing, I think Hannah Petty. I think it was her.
Yeah.
And she's talking about a mean game for this battle that's coming up.
Yeah, I think everyone's very excited for this one. It's top versus third, but Adelaide are the reigning champs. So for us, in our preview of the game, we've just been talking about it's a free shot. You know, they're coming in, off a win of a grand final, and we've had a great start to the season, but this will probably be our first really big challenge. They've got an amazing defence, and it's the Jamaican round, so we could potentially have 6 Jamaicans on the court, which I think is really special.
I mean,
for the
this
league.
could, but it could also fragment Jamaican netball forever because there's 3-on-3 essentially, and of course the goalkeeper
Shamira,
is going to be up against Jamil, and that could, fracture the Jamaican team forever.
And they're the two probably best players in the competition, and they're up against each other.
Potentially in the world.
Yeah,
Yes.
in the world.
Yeah.
And I think for us, I asked the Jamaican girls, I said, do you ever sort of hold back or you don't want to go up against your teammates? And they were like, no, it's even more fierce and fiery, and I really just want to beat my countrymen. So I think it'll be a huge game. I'm excited to sort of see how we play it out and see how we go, probably challenged a little bit more goal for goal because we probably haven't had that as much in the first 5 rounds.
I've been watching a lot of the new series of Welcome to Wrexham. I think there's 3 episodes in, right? And I've noticed that they've shown a few of the inspirational speeches that the coaches does when a game isn't going to plan. And I was thinking, would that work on me? Would that peck me up? Does an inspirational speach work for
Dan
you?
Ryan,
And who does the best one?
Well, Dan Ryan, I'm sure you guys have heard him speak before. He's very articulate and he has a way with words. So he has all of this stuff pre-game. We do all of these little rituals.
Like what's one of the rituals?
So he lays out this.
A virgin goat.
No, we do a welcome to country. We read out what the spirit of the fever means.
What's the spirit of the fever mean?
So it's sort of just embracing each other, individuality, staying humble, keeping your feet on the ground, and then making sure that we defend our home. So that's RAC. And so we stand there and we do like a heap of stuff. Janelle prays for us. So it's a full thing that we do.
What do you do? Do you have a little something
No,
on
I
your
just
desk?
I just stand there and listen.
You drop it like a chicken. Straight up the Janelle praise. You drop it like a pot.
Yeah, no, it's a whole thing, a pre-game thing that we do. Dan loves these pre-game speeches. So
because it's like they've got like really beautiful inspirational quotes just living within them to like let out.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like you're thinking, did you prepare this at home?
Well, I think we haven't really needed a rev up yet, but sometimes they're my favourites when it hasn't gone so well in a quarter or something like that. And you get a bit of a spray. Yeah. They're kind of my favourite because I love that. I love being like, okay, we get another opportunity to come out and prove you wrong. I love a spray and an inspirational.
It would be a really great service, wouldn't it, just to give to anyone in the community?
Well, have you seen Michael Sheen do his?
No.
You know, the actor Michael Sheen. They got him to do it just off the cuff. One for the Welsh
rugby team. It was
and
amazing.
He just fires up about the
we'll show
red
you this.
mist. It's
so
amazing,
good.
and he's just
so
an
good.
actor. But he can do it. He
that.
can do it at the drop of a hat. It's amazing.
That was absolutely amazing.
It's the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
We're laughing because we're joined by comedic legend and friend of the show.
Oh, he's such a good guy.
K. Amos.
Stephen.
And he's just telling us stories from the jungle because, of course, you're on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me
Not
Out of
things
Here.
we can share.
Of course, we cannot share.
Yes.
No.
But let's talk about something we
what's that?
can share. Let's talk about one thing we can share.
Are you just playing a Wimba Wumba?
Yes.
Well, that's a bit insensitive.
Because at the jungle.
A bit racist, Harry.
I'm not in the jungle now, you know. Well, that's really funny, though. Actually, when I arrived back, I've been in the country for like 2.5 weeks. My ego was I thought, oh my God, I've been on TV every night of the week in Australia. Everyone's going to know who I am. So I arrived at Brisbane Airport. Yeah. And you fill out those landing cards. Yeah. And he was going, so where have you just come from, sir? And I went, the jungle. And he went, don't be silly, mate. No, where have you come from?
I'm a household name.
I know.
I do like the fact that you underwent a transformation in the jungle, though, because you learned to swim. Now, how did you never learn to even float before?
This is a question that's come up time and time again. I live in London and I have no reason to swim.
Yeah,
I don't live near the sea.
Yeah.
I live
But
in
you
the
travel
city.
a lot.
I travel a lot, and I don't think the plane's going to crash in water. I'm very positive now.
Statistically, it probably is.
Well, I don't tell me that now. Everything else.
So how does it feel to be able to swim now? Barely, I'm guessing.
So Ellie Cole, a Paralympian, she taught you.
Ellie Cole, legend. Now, the thing is, when I think that taught, I think, myself and hopefully other people a lesson. If you're in a situation where there's nothing to do, you've got no access to technology and decent food, and you're with a Paralympian gold medalist, 17 medals, and she says, you can't swim, I'll teach you how to swim, you'd be a fool to say no, right?
Yes.
100%.
And I never thought I would be picking up a hobby at my age. I'm content.
Yes.
But it was life-changing.
Yeah.
I swear
amazing.
to God.
Stephen,
Well
is
done.
everyone in your family, like you're one of 7, mate. So the whole family, all the kids, not swimmers, or it was just you?
To be honest, I haven't checked with them all. I can only speak for myself.
They haven't mentioned it.
Because when we were kids, we used to in the primary school, we were taken to a swimming bath to be shown how to swim. But it was like a class of 35 kids. The teachers weren't really paying attention.
So you
and in
never got
those
in?
days, I got it. No, I wasn't that good. Where's Stephen? He's definitely got in. No, I got in, but I would just walk along the bottom and just kick my legs up.
And then pretend you were
And then
swimming on
pretend
top.
I was swimming.
Did you really?
Yeah, and I got my 10-yard swimming certificate. That's what they did. back then.
That's like, they used to give a swimming certificate, and then we go, "Oh, what are you up to?" And
Yeah,
okay.
like that. And then the next certificate you got after that, you had to they threw you in the water fully clothed, and they'd see how you can. And I didn't even get in the water then.
I'm not ruining a perfectly good
I
outfit.
was fully clothed and just sat on the back. I've survived, but you're dry, Stephen. Well, shallow.
I know.
Do you think you can swim now?
I'm very confident to be able to floating, for example.
Yes.
I did honestly have a fear of water. When I say water, I mean the expanse. There's nothing to hold on.
Yes.
I can have a shower. I'm not an idiot. I can walk out.
You are English, so
I can walk out in the rain. What's happening? But when there's nothing to hold on to, you just feel out of your depth. But when I got comfortable, this is all down to Ellie Cole. Just to know your body can do so many amazing things for you.
Yes.
Like the breathing helps you float. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But now if you were to fall into a body of water that your feet couldn't touch the bottom of, will you survive?
I will survive by keeping calm.
Yeah.
Right, the first thing, and I would float on my back, love it on my back,
And hopefully float to the shore.
and but swim.
You can propel.
Imagine a rich lady in a pool.
Yes.
And she's laying back and she's slowly just drifting her hands back and forth.
Yes.
That's how he swims.
But it was incredible because I did a show in Sydney over the weekend, and after the show, a young lady came up to me and said, "Oh, my dad's in the audience. He loved your show tonight. You know what he did this morning?" I said, "No, what did he?" He said he took his first ever swimming lesson just because of you.
You've inspired
Stephen.
people.
Yeah,
That's
and
amazing.
he was probably about my age, and I was just like, I wouldn't have ever considered it. And I think that's one of the things with this show. I was really hoping that we'd be able to talk about different sort of subjects, maybe some that are quite sensitive or whatever, and get really in depth.
Deep
I spoke to Callum, for example, about the history of South Africa and apartheid, and the fact that 35 years ago I wouldn't be in that show.
No.
And Callum, that generation, perhaps, I don't know, can't speak for all of them, he didn't know anything about apartheid.
Oh, my
Wow.
God.
Or
Nelson
who
Mandela,
Nelson
nothing.
Mandela was.
He's been to a party or two.
Nathan, Nat, and Sean podcast.
We've got Stephen K. Amos with us.
In the house,
and
in
you
the
just
house.
hinted you're going to
Yeah.
be starring in a movie.
Well, do you know, I've got my...
Starring?
Again, it was one of the...
Yes, Darren.
Well, I've been to a movie theatre. No, I was saying earlier about me trying to do different things.
Yes.
Yes.
I've got a little part in my first movie, and it's not OnlyFans. It's it's a sequel to a very, very popular 1980s
Okay, let's guess.
comedy horror film.
Comedy
Evil
horror.
Dead?
What?
Evil Dead? Something
No.
Like that. Am I in the
Ghostbusters.
range?
No.
Comedy horror.
Comedy horror.
Freddy Krueger.
No, that was just horror.
That was just
1980s,
horror.
did you say?
1980s.
Comedy
Think late 80s.
horror.
Really famous director.
Where's not Wes.
No.
No.
I can't say it three times.
Beetlejuice.
Oh, yeah.
Beetlejuice.
Don't say it again. Don't say it again.
That's really interesting. So,
yes,
Winona Ryder, yes, she's in it.
Yeah.
So it's so Gina Davis no longer in it.
She's not in it, no.
Okay, so it follows Winona, and it would be Winona's children.
Yeah.
How exciting! Because Winona had a big resurgence off of the success of Stranger Things.
Yes, and she was
so
lovely.
Good.
I met her on set,
Did you?
and she was like, "Oh my
I
God,
love her.
Stephen Amos, the comedian, you're so funny. Let's exchange information. We can be friends."
Did she?
Yeah.
Oh my God! Did you go? Oh my God! You too. I loved it. I loved it when you went shoplifting. Remember when
No,
she
I
went
didn't say that.
No,
No.
remember when she went shoplifting?
Yes, that's the biggest
no,
thing.
but like it didn't make me dislike her. I loved her. I loved her. It's like Winona Ryder shop life. That's great.
Leave her alone.
Yeah.
I'm
no, I
still
love
waiting
her.
to hear from her.
Really? Have you sent her a text?
Yes.
What'd you say?
It's me.
And did she not
Hello?
respond? Did she read it? Was it delivered?
Have you been left on red?
Yeah.
You know why?
It doesn't
you know why
hurt
she
that
won't
much.
answer? She thinks it's a Nigerian scammer.
Let it go. Let it go.
Oh my God!
So what's your part in it?
Yeah.
What, can you tell us about the role?
Yes. Well, I can't tell you the role
You're a
specifically,
ghost
but yes.
Yes, you're.
But it's a really, really elaborate scene, and it's really fun.
Oh, really?
And
That's so cool.
When you think about Tim Burton and his
Yes,
mind,
yes.
it's just like, yeah.
And
That's so
remember what it looked like to us. It was a visual treat. Now, if you look at Beetlejuice, I mean,
go, oh my God,
their
yeah.
effects were so terrible. What they could do with it now will be amazing.
Yeah, yeah. And Michael Keaton back reprising the
good.
role. Wow.
That's amazing.
So you filmed this, Stephen?
Yeah,
already?
it's done.
When's it come out?
I think it's coming out in Australia anyway. I think September I read
Cool.
somewhere. The reason why I'm mentioning it now with such grandiose confidence is I got an email at the top of the year asking me of my correct spelling of my name for the credits.
Oh, so you haven't been cut.
Can you imagine? I've been there before.
That is
I've
so
done a whole
funny.
series in the UK, and I told all my friends. I even discarded a few friends. You are dead to me. I don't want to see you again. And of course, the series was canned, and I didn't. And I was like, oh.
What was that series about?
Oh, it was about. It was like a game show, and it was called a Mob Rule.
Yeah.
And it was basically. It's like a question and answer. So we have contestants, and then we'd ask 100 people what their opinions of something, and then you'd have to guess what.
That's Andy Lee does it here. It's the
There's a
100.
show called The 100.
Yeah.
Oh,
Which is it? Which
Exactly
is Mob
that.
Rule. Yep.
Oh, right, okay. Who does it?
Andy Lee.
Oh, I got Andy Lee.
Hamish and Andy.
Oh, I like
Yeah.
those.
Yeah. It's a big success here.
And they said it was the host that really pulled it through. It was going to be
It
chopped.
does,
but-
yeah. With the right host, that's
Right.
really
With the right
soar.
host, they'll do anything.
Oh my God!
You're right.
Wow. What if I didn't come in this
Yeah,
morning?
exactly. Well, your confidence would be sky high.
I know.
So, Stephen, thanks for coming in.
Oh,
It's
been a joy to have you.
Oh, the joy's all been yours.
This is a podcast of Nathan, Nat, and Sean.
As you know, Jeremy McGovern is in the house. We're all concerned seeing the governor come off in last weekend's away game, landed on his ribs in a marking contest. We thought, oh, geez. History
go again.
suggests.
Yeah.
Gov, you've been named. You're right to play.
No, I'm all good, yeah.
So strong.
You went
obviously
to
was a bit
hospital,
winded.
though.
Yes.
That's what we saw.
I had to go to hospital. It sounds worse than what it was. But yeah, I got a knock in the kidney. So when I land
Right.
on my elbow and it must have hit my kidney.
I don't think I've
right.
ever hit my kidney. No. I've never hit my
Nah,
kidney.
we can change that. You want that? Just a little
So
tip.
make that happen right now.
So what does it feel like when you hurt your kidney? Can you
I didn't
feel
know
a
I did.
sore kidney? No.
No, I just got... it was winded. So I
Okay.
just thought
Yeah.
I just got really badly winded and then come good, went back out and then, yeah.
So it wasn't another player did this to you. You landed on your own elbow. is
Landed
that-
on myself, yeah. Yeah, went for a grab. Yeah, I've got to settle down.
Wow. Yeah,
I got excited. I actually did. I got excited. Thought I'm gonna take a hanger here, and then little did I
And then
know I was
didn't.
going off for the kidney.
Isn't this funny though? The amount of people that have seriously hurt themselves, like you accidentally punch themselves in the face.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Or they scratch their eye open. Yeah, crazy.
Who's punched themselves in the face?
There are people listening right now that would have punched themselves in the face.
If you've got to punch yourself in the
13, 24, 10, if you punch yourself in the face accidentally, you've hurt yourself.
Like you're I don't know, you're pulling something down and it slips or whatever, you go whack in the face.
Or you've accidentally scratched something with peril. Give us a call and let us know, please.
Gov, when you hurt yourself, because they were showing it on Fox, you're watching all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going, Gov's, he's out talking about your ribs all the time, off to the hospital. Like, that seems like a big move.
I thought it was excessive personally because I felt fine. I went back out and played the rest of that quarter and then snuck out in the third. But they'd take me to hospital because when you get hit in the kidneys, sometimes you can
your pee blood.
Yeah, you can have a bit of blood in your pee, which I did.
Yes.
So they had
need
to do
check that there wasn't any serious damage.
So are me personally, I would have loved to stay out there, but from a medical side, you can understand why they wanted to check to make sure I hadn't ruptured it because then you can bleed out and whatever.
Yeah, that's right.
So if there's even a speck of blood,
there was more
it
than
needs to be a sort of
a stream, sort of.
Yeah, sort of. They do a test, and it's
raspberry cordial.
That's right.
I reckon if you can see it
red creaming soda.
visibly, it's a no. Yeah.
Okay, right.
So it was seen visibly. So I didn't really have anywhere to argue.
Have you eaten a lot of beetroot? Or...
Yeah, that was the first question. Have you had any beetroot juice? Because the boys drink
I don't know
beetroot.
beetroot.
And on hindsight, just said, I've been smashing beetroot juice all day.
I cannot stand beetroot. I don't like the taste. And it always looks
Mum
like
used to have a tin of it, Nathan. Used to be a tin. Always around.
It's a shortage of tin beetroot.
Is it?
Yep.
Is that because of the shortage of tins or beetroot?
Beetroot.
Do you eat beetroot?
Yeah.
Yeah, they drink the juice.
Yeah, we drink the juice. I don't drink the juice. I should have said I drink the juice. But no, I don't. I eat it though. I'm not.
Do you eat the ginger?
Ginger?
That comes with sushi.
Oh yeah.
No one eats the ginger.
It's really like
no one eats.
Oh really?
No one eats the ginger. That's like I always think the sushi companies will make so much more money if they stop forcing us to eat ginger.
I just thought that was garnish and you threw it in the bin with the parsley.
Yeah.
Well, isn't the ginger's? That's a choice, isn't it? They don't put it straight on there.
No ginger. They expect you want it.
Some places.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's because most people want it.
No. Most people push it to the side. Actually.
We've got Emma on the line, actually, Gov, because she reckons it is possibly to punch yourself in the face.
Hi, Emma.
Hey.
Yeah.
So a couple of weeks ago, I was laying in my bed. It was quite cold, and my dog was laying on the blanket by my feet.
Yeah.
And I was trying to pull the blanket up, and as I've done that, she kind of hopped up as I was pulling with force. And my fist kind of swung up and hit myself in the lip.
There you go. See, Gov, it's possible.
So did you have a swollen lip?
It is, yeah, I did. It's definitely possible.
I can just imagine that.
I told you, people out there are punching themselves in the head.
Oh, there we go.
There you go. That proves it. Hey, Emma, you're in with a shot at Nova's 10K day in May, just like that. For punching yourself in the face. Thanks, Emma.
Now, Gov, you're taking on Melbourne at home on Sunday. It's a late game, which is
4:20.
4:20. Yeah, it's not a great time for people who've got kids going to school the next day. But anyway, Waterman's, but Jake's back as well, which is good news. So a couple of you guys back in playing.
Yeah,
for the majority of the game.
We've Jakey's back this week, which will be good to boost the forward line. But I'll hopefully get through the full game. So it's exciting. Melbourne, a quality side, so we're going to be up for it for sure. But it's exciting to get in front of the home fans.
Nathan, Nat and Shaun is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au. Nova.